This is the Lily Ladybug right-handed full-length video tutorial. Pause this video at any time by clicking on it. Gather your items from your Dream crochet kit along with your own pair of scissors. Make a magic circle using the magic circle tool. Press the end of the yarn into the top slit with the groove facing towards you. Turn it sideways and wrap the yarn around it twice. Make an X and hold with your index finger. With the hook facing down, insert it under the first loop and grab the second, pulling through. Pull it up and twist it a little onto the hook. Then reach over and pull the working yarn through the loop on the hook. Grab the working yarn and pull it tight. Put your index finger on the yarn on the hook to hold it in place. Then insert the hook into the groove and under the loop. Yarn over and pull through. Reach over, yarn over again, and pull the yarn through the two loops on the hook. Repeat this 5 more times to complete 6 stitches. When you're done, the stitches on the other side will look like little letter V's. When your stitches are complete, make a bigger loop by pulling on the hook. Pause this video and count the V stitches to make sure you have 6 of them. Place a stitch marker in the first stitch. Take your magic circle round off of the tool by grabbing the loop and the last stitch, gently wiggling the whole round free. To tighten the circle, hold the same last stitch and loop and pull the tail until the circle closes. Round 2, increase 6 times. The increase stitch is simply 2 stitches into the same V. We'll start by putting our first increase stitch, which is actually 2 stitches, into the stitch where the stitch marker is. We insert the hook and then we yarn over with the working yarn, and then you should have 2 loops on your hook. Reach over and yarn over again, pulling through those 2 loops. Now we're going to do it again. Insert your hook in the same stitch as before, yarn over, pull back through, you have 2 loops on the hook, you yarn over again and pull through those 2 loops. These 2 stitches make your first increase stitch. So in order to mark the row, we're going to put the stitch marker in the first of those 2 V's that we made with our increase. So there'll be 1 V stitch between the stitch marker and your hook. Now look for the next stitch, and we're going to do another increase stitch into that. Continue around with increased stitches in each stitch until you get to the end, and you'll know you're at the end when you get to the stitch marker. Round 3, a single stitch, then an increased stitch 6 times, and that'll add up to 18 stitches. After you make your first single stitch, move the stitch marker into that stitch to mark the row. Now an increase stitch, 1, 2, and now a single stitch, 1. Next is the increase stitch, and we just continue to repeat this pattern all the way around. Round 4, 18 single stitches. This is easy. You just put 1 stitch in each stitch all the way around. It should be 18 when you get all the way around to the stitch marker again. And don't forget to move that marker on your first stitch and make sure you mark the very first stitch in that row. Now we're going to flip it to the right side. It'll be kind of like flipping it inside out, and we're going to continue stitching in the same direction, but it'll feel like you're stitching kind of from the outside into the inside of a bowl. Now we're going to change color. My favorite part, we're going to do round 5 in the back loops only, slip stitching for 18 stitches. And I'm going to show you how to do that next. So with the back loops only, it's just like it sounds. We're going to do our stitches into the back of the V. And we're also going to do slip stitches into those back loops, which means we're going to pull the red loop all the way through, and we're not going to reach back over. So just follow along. Adding the red can be a little bit tricky. You just have to keep playing around with it, tightening it, and it'll work out. As you can see, we're pulling it all the way through rather than reaching back over and doing another yarn over. And slip stitches are nice because they lay nice and flat. Also, since we're stitching in the back loops, it makes the abdomen look like it's coming from behind the head. Round 6 in the back loops only, 3 single stitches, 3 increases, 6 single stitches, increase 3 times again, and 3 single stitches, adding up to 24. So we have to count 3 single stitches, now 3 increases, now 6 single stitches, three more increases, and 3 single stitches at the end. Now we get to attach her green eyes. The green eyes that we're attaching are a little bit bigger than the other ones if you have the multi-kit, so grab the bigger backings. And then as you can see, the thicker part of the backs, the bigger part go against the yarn. And I'm using my nails here to push them down. And you'll probably see in other videos that I broke my nails doing this. So I recommend actually grabbing a fork or a pen cap to push it down if you're having trouble. Don't sacrifice your nails like I did. Round 7, 2 single stitches, 1 increase 8 times. That adds up to 32. And now we're back to stitching with regular single stitches in both loops. Round 8, 32 single stitches. Round 9. 2 single stitches, 1 decrease 8 times, adding up to 24 stitches. Let me show you how to do a decrease. We do 2 single stitches first, and then we're going to do a decrease. And I'm going to show you how to do an invisible decrease. We're going to stitch into the front loops of the next 2 stitches, like so. Yarn over and pull through those 2 loops, leaving the one still on. Now you have 2, and you yarn over again and pull through those 2 loops. Now 2 more regular single stitches, and then you have another decrease. Repeat this pattern to the end of the row. Round 10, 24 single stitches. Round 11, 24 single stitches again. Round 12, 24 single stitches. I cut and tie off the black yarn now. I like to tie it in a little knot and tuck it in to make the front of the ladybug a little bit blacker. You don't have to tie it, but I like to. Round 14, stuff with filling. Round 15, single stitch, decrease stitch 8 times. Adds up to 16. Round 16, decrease 8 times. Make about a 5-inch loop and cut. Round 17, slip stitch in the front loops. What you're going to do is thread the needle and you're going to stitch in all of the front loops to close the hole. Once the hole is closed, bury the yarn. Antennae. Slip knot and chain 3. And yes, I did Google that pronunciation. Slip stitch in the second loop from your hook. Now slip stitch in the next loop and pull the yarn through, leaving some extra to stitch, and then cut. Make a second antenna. Slip knot and chain 3. Slip stitch in the second loop from your hook. Now slip stitch in the next loop and pull the yarn through, leaving some extra to stitch, and then cut. Sew the antennae on. Now we're going to make the ladybug's black line across her back. Cut 1.5 feet of black yarn and thread the big needle. Insert into the bottom of the head, close to the red but still in the black, and bring through the top of the head, again close to the red, in the center but still in the black, leaving a little bit below. Loop around her body and reinsert in the back end, and then come back through the original entry. Tie the ends together and then cut the yarn. Ignore that I don't cut it here. I was measuring out how much you'll need for the pattern. Here's another fun part. We're going to make her spots with French knots. Using about 2 feet of black yarn, thread the needle. Insert at the bottom of her head and come back out where you want to put your first knot. It can be anywhere you want. Leaving a little bit of the tail below, pull almost all the way through, and then you're going to lay your needle flat. Wrap the needle with the black yarn 3 times, somewhat close. Pick another spot really close, about a stitch away, and go back in while holding on to those 3 loops that are wrapped around your needle. Bring the needle out in the next place where you want to put your next spot. Keep holding on to those 3 loops on the front side and kind of wiggle the needle through and hold on to that area until you can get the thread through it. And you can kind of play with the spot until it sits the way you want. And you make another French knot here, and you continue to repeat this till you have about 6 spots. Just put them wherever you want. After your final spot, take the needle back out through the bottom of the head where you originally started. Tie the ends together and bury them. Congrats, you did it! Remember, every ladybug is going to be a little bit different and they're all unique because they're handmade.